All right, and we're back for another episode of the Lakers Fast Break podcast. It's Gerald Glassford coming right back at you here from Lakers Fast Break, Pop Culture Cosmos, Inside Sports Fantasy Football, and Game Source. We truly appreciate everyone out there listening to all of our shows. And if you can, please give us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts. Plus, if you can like, share, subscribe, follow, or do anything that you can to support us right here at the Lakers Fast Break, Pop Culture Cosmos, Inside Sports Fantasy Football, Game Source, everything that we do at the Lakerholics.com site, which we are now contemplating might be changed to Cryptoholics.com. Plus also as well, the great folks at the Hoopheads Podcast Network. It is sincerely appreciated. You know, if they pay us $700 million, I think definitely we'll make some changes. That's for sure. But with the Lakers heading out on their first extended road trip of the season, and the first stop was in the world champion Milwaukee Bucks. And Milwaukee, conveniently, in the ever, I guess, ups and downs of the season so far, had their ups and their downs so far as well, coming in with a 6-8 record, while the Lakers were coming in with an 8-7 record. But the Bucks seemingly are getting back to full health, as all three of the Bucks superstars were in the lineup, as opposed to LeBron still being out of the lineup for the Lakers. And the Lakers took an early lead. Things looked promising. Unfortunately, the second quarter, the lack of execution on both the offensive and defensive end had them down by 11 at the half. But a very strong third quarter, in a sign that maybe they're getting a little bit more worried and a little bit more intense when it comes out, coming out of after halftime. They went ahead and they stormed back into the game and only were down by 2 in the third quarter, but poor execution down the stretch bit the Lakers once again, as the Lakers undoubtedly fell this time, but still a great effort getting back into the game. And I do want to go ahead and give them compliments on that, because they did a great job of getting back into the game. But unfortunately, it was just too little too late in the fourth quarter, as poor execution bit the Lakers one more time. And the Lakers fell to Milwaukee 109-102, despite a terrific performance from Talen Horton-Tucker, 25 points, 12 rebounds, 3 of 6 from three-point land. Russell Westbrook had possibly one of his better games of the season. In fact, one of his best games of the season, at 19 points, 15 assists, and only 3 turnovers. Can't ask for much better than that. 7 of 16 shooting, which is, again, right in line with what he's been doing on on most of his good games. Anthony Davis chipped in with 18, a little bit underwhelming, and he did get hurt. It looked a little bit shaken up again, but the Lakers couldn't pull it out, couldn't execute down the stretch, and unfortunately fell 109-102. But here today to talk about the game and a good performance from Talen Horton-Tucker, hopefully taking this performance maybe is carrying him through the season, and also hoping that a Lebrons Return will be in the offering on Friday. He's a good man indeed. He is currently considering changing the name of Lakerholics.com to Cryptoholics.com. I mean, the city of Los Angeles is in an uproar over this, and I can't understand why, because let's face it, Staples is a retail outlet that sells office supply products. It's okay. If somebody says, hey, you know what, I've got $700 million for you, take the money. But it is a good man indeed. It is LakerTom, and LakerTom, like I said, kudos to the Lakers for coming out strong in the third quarter and coming back after a disappointing second quarter. It's just the execution down the stretch, turnovers, missed easy shots, bad calls by the ref on not one but 2 occasions seemed to do the Lakers in this time around. You're on mute, Tom. You're getting I'm getting no volume from you.
How about now?
Yes, now
Okay,
we can hear
sorry
your
about that,
lovely
Gerald.
crypto voice.
Yeah, we're not going to change the name of Lakerholics.com.
Crypto.com comes in and pays you $700 million.
That goes into the same category as the people who happen to think that Frank Vogel's going to get fired after 15 games of the year, or that LeBron's never going to win another championship, or that the Warriors are going to take off with a whole bunch of championships. I did not have the Lakers winning this game because I thought that Giannis is going to play really well, and we're really suspect against somebody like Giannis, especially without LeBron in the lineup, because LeBron's usually the guy that guards him. I thought that we saw a lot of good signs tonight. For one thing, I think the most important thing is that we came in and we made it a game. We made it a game in the first quarter. We made it a game in the second quarter, and we came out and we won the third quarter handily. I thought we fought hard in the fourth quarter. I can't believe, they got 7 more free throws than we did. And I really thought the officiating was extremely slanted toward the Bucks. There were numerous calls that just seemed to always be late calls going against us, and it's just enough to it just really makes you angry at it. But overall, I'm really happy with the effort that we made. Taylor is doing what he has to do. He's showing that he's an integral part. I don't know how you can keep a guy who scores that many points off of the line, out of the starting lineup. He played well defensively, and he shot 3 for 6 from 3. I think that's really important, especially for a team that shot horribly again from 3, and that cost us the game. What you really have to write this game down to is the difference between LeBron James being in there and LeBron James not being in there, and the greatness of Giannis Antetokounmpo. What was he, 18 out of 22? 18 out of 22. That's pretty amazing.
Well, the thing is, hold on. You said that Anthony Davis should not be the one that primarily guards Giannis Antetokounmpo, who scored 47 points today. I say it in reverse. I think normally when you have a 6'10" individual that has the athletic ability that AD has, he should be, in essence, in theory, the perfect individual to guard Giannis.
No, because you're looking at 2 different body types. You're looking at a body type that has a high center of gravity. That's Anthony Davis's problem with being able to be moved out of the key and not being able to hold his position. You want to guard Giannis with a guy who's got a low center of gravity. That's probably Dwight Howard in some situations. But really, when it came down to the clutch for the Lakers, it's LeBron James, because he can't be moved out the way that AD can. And frankly, you saw the results tonight. Giannis abused AD every time he got to the rim. That's pretty clear.
The case,
this game was won by what may be the best player in the world today.
Well, that's the case. We can't continually call AD this great defender, this defensive player of the year candidate, et cetera, et cetera.
It's just a matchup situation, Gerald. There's not just 2 guys in the league. There are 300 guys in the league. And
we were saying the same thing about Giannis Antetokounmpo, how he was getting all the votes, but he wasn't playing defense.
There's been cases where certain role players had dominance over other players, other star players. It's a bad matchup, Anthony Davis against Giannis. It's just a bad matchup. And it's not a matchup that we're going to win. It's not a matchup we're going to win.
I didn't say we have to win. We just have to be even. And Anthony Davis has to go ahead and score more than.
Well, it was 44 to 20.
More than
I don't
18
think that
points.
was easy. 44 to 20. Is that even?
AD should be giving you more than 18 points in a matchup like this.
Yeah.
He's supposed to be one of the best 75 players of all time.
You could put 298 of the 300 players in the NBA in that same situation that AD was tonight, and he'll fare better than a whole lot of them would. I mean, I don't understand where your point of view is coming from.
I understand what your point of view is coming from, because you have
my point of view is AD is maybe the best defensive player in the league, but he's not a great matchup to defend Giannis Antetokounmpo.
Maybe we're looking at this in a whole different perspective on where AD is at, because if AD, we want to go ahead and say he is going to be that player that's one of the 10 best players in the league, then maybe we should look at this in a different perspective then.
You can't judge just him against one player in one game.
but they have a similar
I
body
mean, that's
type.
like your 15 games. You're determined already that Frank Vogel. You're having a podcast where you're discussing whether Frank Vogel or Rod Pelinka should be fired first.
No, I said who said Frank Vogel should be fired. I didn't say Frank Vogel should be fired.
Well, that was the subject of your podcast.
You
with
didn't
Sean.
listen very carefully. I know.
I listened to the entire podcast, and at the end, you guys were joking that, well, next week we're going to talk about whether it's Frank Vogel.
I didn't say next week. I said sometime soon. Maybe we should have the conversation. If there's continued to go down the slide, maybe we should have the conversation. I didn't say next week. I said sometime soon. Make sure when you listen to the podcast, you actually listen to the podcast.
We can have that conversation tonight. We're getting to that point pretty quickly.
Here today as well, who's someone who actually was watching the podcast as was going on with Sean Grice, is a man who might take $700 million from Crypto.com. It is the man behind five things. No,
I mean, would. I would, but
you would. Crypto comes to say, "Hey, I want to go ahead and rename five things to five."
It's such a bad name for where everything.
Well, it's a bad name, but $700 million is $700 million. People seem to forget that. They come walking to your house saying, "I want to pay $700 million." I will take the $700 million. It is Jamie's sweep, but Jamie, your thoughts on today's game? I'm not saying that AD has to win this matchup, but it certainly has to be a lot better than what we saw today.
Well, I mean, I think what we're really talking about here, the last two games against good teams, teams that are, the Bucks are underperforming. They've had a similar start to their season that we've had. Key guys out. Got, I would say they've even had more like random stuff than we've had. Other than, the young guys.
Is actually the only one that's out right now of their normal starting lineup.
They just got Chris Middleton back. No, and they still haven't gotten Lopez back. Brooke Lopez.
That's right.
So they're down some key guys, and I mean they still pretty much handed it to us in that fourth quarter. They came to play a full 48 minutes of basketball, and this team seems to think it can get by with like 3-ish quarters of basketball. What are you talking? I mean, I don't even know what you're laughing about. We scored.
You act like they weren't trying, Jamie. I don't think that was at all. I didn't see a lack of effort or a lack of caring about it. And frankly, it pisses me off that you guys keep saying this team doesn't care.
Well, then how come they have these quarters?
I see that in the demeanor of the players.
Then why do they have quarters where they don't score 20 points?
They get outplayed
consistently.
They go cold.
So then this team
that has nothing to do with trying. They played great defense at a lot of times in this game.
But not
can we also say it's a lack of execution? Because I didn't say it was a lack of
because they switched, because Giannis got a switch and killed THT underneath twice. And that's what turned the game around from being a very close game that we could have won. And you guys still want to just down the game and say that everything is horrible and it's gloom and doom in Lakers stand. That's not.
I just said it was a great performance by
positive signs. We came out and played a great game against the best team we've met this year.
I don't know. Golden State is pretty darn good.
No, we played Golden State. We played Chicago. Those are three really, really good teams in the NBA right now. Like
this is the defending champions and the player that most people.
But it's the defending champions that they still have a worse record than us. So, we could only take things as
that's another one of those bottom feeders that we should have beat.
Well, I'm not saying that. What I'm saying,
it sounded like it.
If you just want to like interpret what people say as however you want to interpret,
and you give it
that's
a blanket,
fine.
And you
that's
give it a blanket
fine.
thing.
I'm not here to convince you one way or the other. What I'm trying to say, though, and may get to eventually, we'll see, is that there's a consistency to this team, and the consistency is we have a down quarter in every game, and not like against this kind of team or against that kind of team. It doesn't matter. There is a down quarter in this team, so you can call it whatever you want. You can call it lack of heart. You can call it lack of execution. You can call it lack of preparation. You can call it, we just need to get this guy or that guy back. I will counter with last year's team didn't have AD or LeBron and played better than this team does. Played harder than this team does. Executed better on both ends of the court, better than this team does. And so that's the reality of this team. However you want to frame it or whatever you think that means is kind of, it doesn't matter because we're not winning basketball games at a very high rate. And we're not, competing at a very, very high rate, frankly. We're not rising to the challenge of teams that we should beat, and we're not matching the the intensity of teams that we should be competing with. If we're going to really be a championship team, I don't really see that on the basketball court yet. I haven't seen it not ever this season. It hasn't been here yet. So
with LeBron on the court,
even with LeBron and
games with LeBron on the court, we're 4-2.
But
tell me, were any of those wins decisive? Were any of those wins going to, did they scream that this is a team that's on its way to the championship?
The only decisive win we had was against Houston
by 10.
That's
it's
the defining win of the Lakers
season.
season.
4 or 5 key people missing. We've lost LeBron for 5 games. It's only 16 games into an 82-game season.
I'm not disputing that. What I'm saying is that the consistent tendency of this team, again,
the sky is falling. Duck your heads.
If that's how you want to interpret that, that's fine.
But as 10 games turns into 15 games, turns into 20 games,
you're not talking about minor concerns, though. You are.
No, I'm talking about the character. You're right. No, you're right. I'm talking about the character of the team.
Going to kill the team.
I'm talking about the character of the team. The character of the team, in my opinion, is lacking.
I thought today effort was great in that fourth quarter.
You're going to eat those words
down the stretch
when they win a championship.
I'm not saying it can't turn around. I'm not saying it can't turn around. It hasn't yet. We're, as you say, only 16 games in. But if this becomes
LeBron
20,
may be coming back on Friday,
32,
so we may
40,
start to see that.
Or 69.
He may be coming back on Friday. So hopefully that's a good sign.
I'm just tired of all the negativity.
Well, okay.
Well, then
there were good things. Why don't we talk about Taylor Horton Tucker's good night? Why don't we talk about the third quarter? Why don't we talk about some of those things that you seem to totally ignore and feel don't have any importance to the future of the season?
Because their overall contribution to a win came up lacking. His big night the other night against Bulls.
The season is a marathon, and you measure the progress game by game, play by play,
right,
quarter by quarter, person by person.
That's exactly what I've been doing. And based on our record, I think I'm more correct.
Empty almost all of the time.
We look at things differently than you do.
When your team is 500,
we look at things in a realistic tone. You don't always.
There are reasons for the team being at 500.
You always see things as far as with the rosy Laker purple and gold colored shades on, which is great for the optimistic view and things of that nature.
I don't always do that, Gerald. I have my rants.
About halfway through the season last year, he finally started acknowledging
if Frank continues to pay Bazemore, I am just going to scream and yell when he doesn't. If he continues to play Bradley, I'm going to scream and yell because both guys don't belong in the rotation anymore.
Okay. Well, LeBron's coming back on Friday.
The simple fact that I yell at those things and I get pissed at Russ and so forth doesn't prevent me from seeing how much progress Taylor Horton Tucker has made. The fact that LeBron is coming back.
I commented on earlier in the show.
The fact that the team played hard tonight. I don't see any of the stuff that Jamie saw in tonight's actions. I saw Taylor Horton Tucker dive on the floor several times. I saw players boxing out guys to the point where they put them to the ground at the end of the plays numerous times by the Lakers. I saw hard attempts to block shots. I saw hard fouls being made. I didn't see anybody not caring, not trying hard, or going out. I saw Russell Westbrook really going into the middle with the ball and then finding open players, and he had 15 assists and only 3 turnovers. Why don't we talk about some of those things instead of constantly, and I mean constantly, degrading the team and saying that every little wrinkle and every little woe is going to turn into a gigantic disaster down the road.
First of all,
how about some patience and some perspective?
How about you giving us a chance to talk every now and then?
How?
I mentioned already on the show the performance for THT. I already mentioned on the show how it was a great performance for Russell Westbrook with 15 assists to 3 turnovers. I understand that. The execution down the stretch, it led up to an L. You've got to admit that. I never talked about their effort. That was Jamie. Jamie sees things differently than you, who sees things differently from me. It's a different perspective. Each and every individual Lakers fan sees these Laker games from a different perspective. And that's what we do on the show. We try to provide different perspectives. I'm not going to go and be the individual that always says, okay, the Lakers are doing great when I see them at 8-8. Obviously, there's something wrong, something that needs to be fixed. If you don't want to admit that, that's fine, Tom, but that's not me. So there you go. But if you're always looking for this rose-colored thing that's happened that's got as far as everything, as far as dandelions and everything, as far as a nice, happy garden, oh, it's all because of LeBron being out of the game. That's the problem, because it's not just all LeBron. The way the team is structured has several issues,
and it's just it is disrespectful to say that they didn't play hard and they didn't.
I didn't say that. I never said that they didn't play hard. I'm just
telling you why I'm pissed.
Well, okay. I just said there was a lack of execution down the stretch when they were in a close game and they didn't. Not saying it's a terrible thing.
Milwaukee executed and we didn't.
Yeah, that's. I don't think that's a bad thing. I said it was a very good performance that they were at the third quarter, because the second quarter looked like junk, and it looked like it was going to be another one of those games. But they came back strong in that third quarter. I said, THT, you need to build off of this great performance from him.
I know, just because we lost, you can't just say these guys didn't play hard. They didn't try.
Well, maybe that's the way Jamie Sweet sees
it. I mean, that's just so infuriating, Jamie.
Okay.
I mean, seriously, do you understand why it would be angry? I thought the biggest thing that came out of this game was how hard we competed, because I thought we were going to lose by 30.
I never thought we were going to lose by 30.
I thought we were going to lose by 30.
Okay, listen, let's just talk about something else. This is completely unproductive.
Okay. Well, again, it is the Lakers fast break. The Lakers did end up falling short in the house of the Bucks, 109-102. Let's go on as far as Friday is concerned, because obviously this is going to be an argument where we're going to go round and round and round. One of our famous get-togethers here at the Lakers fast break. Friday, hopefully we will be seeing better things in Boston, because it is among what has been talked about by both Adrian Wojnarowski and Shams Charania of The Athletic. Talked about that possibly LeBron may be returning as early as Friday, which would be a great sign for the team indeed. Jamie, I'll start with you. What do you think LeBron's return will do to go ahead and spark the Lakers and maybe get them back on the winning track?
Well, it's going to do a lot, I think. I mean, part of it is like, what version of LeBron do we get? Any version of LeBron is an improvement over Bazemore, Ellington, Monk, pretty much anybody who came off the bench tonight. I would hope that it pushes Bradley to the bench and not THT, but my concern is that it'll push THT to the bench.
I don't think after a performance like this, Bradley, you should put THT on the bench. You need to take that momentum. You need to keep on giving him that.
I agree, but we watched Frank Vogel, play DeAndre Jordan for I don't remember how many games it was as a starter, but it was that many games too many. Frank just makes mystifying choices for reasons that Frank doesn't explain. So,
but you got to remember, it's also the cards that he's been dealt with.
No, I agree, but kinda. I mean, he could have played Dwight instead of DeAndre Jordan to start games at center.
Has that really worked out better for us this year?
I don't know that it would have, but I mean, the fact of the matter is when you start a game with a center like DeAndre Jordan, who just takes up space and really only contributes one aspect of offense.
Do you see him coming back to the starting lineup now that LeBron's coming back? Hopefully.
DeAndre Jordan?
Yes.
Oh man. Well, that's the other concern. So if it pushes Melo to the bench,
at least we can all agree on something.
No, it'll push Melo to the bench probably.
That's what I was just thinking. It probably push Melo to the bench.
Melo is better off of the bench because
Melo has been better off the bench as a starter. I think he gets targeted a little bit on defense. Although he
gets targeted.
I always thought. But I think that Melo is an underrated defender. I'm not like how Paul Gasol was an underrated defender. Does he get a lot of shot blocks?
I might have actually more issues with that than what he said earlier in the segment. But I'm kidding, my friend. I'm kidding, James.
No, I mean he is. He's a stout dude. I mean, does he have the most acute defensive instincts of anybody on the team? Certainly not.
He can't guard on the perimeter anymore, man.
No. He's 36 going on 37, which is 37 going on 38, which is a big problem with the team. But we got to get some of the young guys back. We can't take all the young guys out of the starting lineup. So if it pushes Mel to the bench, keeps AD at the 5, and I mean, if I were Frank, I would swap Malik Monk with Bradley to start games and give the kid a little bit of give these young guys a shot. Avery Bradley's never going to get another contract in his life higher than maybe somebody's MLE. It would astound me if he got a deal that high ever again. He's going to be playing vet minimum contracts for as long as he can find an employer. Malik Monk wants a payday. He should want to play like he wants a payday. And I think that you have to tap into those aspects of like what youthful energy we have on this team has to be a factor, or I just don't see us being able to compete on a high level on a nightly basis over the course of the regular season. I think this team will make the playoffs. I think that this is a team that's technically better suited to play playoff basketball based on the veterans that we have. I think that on a night-to-night basis, this team has a hard time, and whatever adjective you would like to use, if you want to call it their energy level or their foci or their force powers or the hell ever you want to use, they don't have it on a night-to-night basis. They cannot play for 48 minutes of basketball and compete on a consistent basis. They have proven this with their record. So whatever excuse, whatever adjective, whatever reason people want to come up with, it doesn't really matter because this is where they're at. So hopefully LeBron coming back changes some of that because, you know, Rondo's no Jared Dudley. I don't think he keeps the mood high. You know what I mean? Like, I think that that's what was the nice thing about having Dudley on the team was that there was a guy who like,
oh, not you too.
No, I'm not. Listen, I would never say he was the best 15th man of the league, but there is something to be said for like having a guy who lifts people's spirits. And Rondo's never been that guy. Rondo will take you to the side and tell you what the hell you're doing wrong. How about after
paying you $700 million from crypto for
I'll be that guy. Sure.
How about them paying you $1 million to be the cheerleader?
Man, I'll wear clown shoes and a clown wig. I will not. You guys remember Dancing Barry? I will dance and Barry
with crypto.com.
With crypto.com all over whatever. I'll be NASCAR crypto.com dancing Jamie. No.
I wonder if we're gonna have a crypto.com mascot.
What is it going to be like a shadowy dollar? Like that's what I'm saying, like a scary dollar.
NASCAR, man, make sure on your interviews you're talking all the sponsors. You have to make sure you mention them.
I'd like to thank Crypto Coin for my driving today. They were fantastic. They were fantastic in my car. Make sure that transmission whale. I have no offense to NASCAR people. They don't all talk like that. I digress. Listen, one last thing about this Friday. You know, it's important for the Lakers. People want to downplay the Lakers-Celtic rivalry. I think that's BS. It's important for the Lakers as a team to beat Boston, to at least play them even over the course of the regular season.
I'm going to downplay it. It's not the same.
No. What does that even mean? The NBA isn't the same. Like that's
true. Good point there.
I mean,
it doesn't matter, but we got to keep trying to make it the same.
I agree with that 100%.
It's worth 1.5 wins.
It psychically, yes, it is. I believe it is worth 1.5.
Is that how you plan to get the?
LeBron doesn't want to come up, not winning.
Yeah, that's how we'll get to 70.
And we don't want to let Dennis win, for God's sakes.
Oh, really? This is the second point. Second side of my point
he
is
turned
that
down that contract.
This is the opposite of a trap game.
No, this is a must-win game. As much of a must-win can be in a moment like this as there can be, which it's not really. Not really. But it would do the team a huge amount of good.
After them, and then we got the Pacers, so it's a must-win game.
Well, listen, if we come back from this road trip under 500,
if there is one under 20 games,
right. If they come back from this road trip under 500, I will not certainly be the only one being a Debbie Downer when it comes to the Lakers. I can guarantee you that.
Well, let me put it to you just before you hand it over to LakerTom. If they do go under 500. And I mean, that's still not a death knell for the team because you look at the 10th spot, it's right now in the play-in is the Oklahoma City Thunder, a team that was trying to lose as much as they can, and they're not doing that right.
They're like 6-8, 5-8 or something. No,
they won tonight.
Their owners are probably angry at the Lakers for getting them into the winning streak.
Well, you know what happened is after they beat us, then they started playing well. It was like they started to believe that they could be a legit basketball team, and I mean. Like I said,
SGA is good. SGA is good.
And this team is
we found that out firsthand.
We knew we should have known that. That dude's good. But
Lucas Dort, he is someone that if he can ever get his shooting together, he did tonight with 34 points. But if he can he could be a consistent shooter.
I've always aspired to get a guy like him or Marcus Smart on the Lakers,
like Randall, like a blocky, stout person who just takes hits and still finishes through contact. And if they can hit the three, it's it's.
But LakerTom, I want to go ahead and make sure before we close on out, in that you go ahead and share everybody what your thoughts are with LeBron, possibly, because it's been heavily rumored that LeBron will be back for Friday. What do you think that's going to do for the team? Again, if they finish under 500 by the end of the road trip, it's not a death knell for the team, because seeing as far as everybody from 7th place on down does not have that good of a record right now. So
if they finish 1-3 on this road trip, on the next 4 games, I will join you in a total destroy the Lakers podcast.
Okay, fair enough.
Okay, there you have my promise.
I was trying to be positive. I was trying to be positive.
I will be so angry at this team.
That's not
now,
even
the way I'll say is if LeBron doesn't
I don't think
play,
you understand the glass half empty philosophy. The glass half empty philosophy is not that, oh, it's all terrible. Oh, woe is me. And there's no turning anything around it. Well, that's different.
The worst, so you won't get disappointed.
Well, no, I see the pieces that we have, and I question their ability to come together in a manner that allows them to win most basketball games in time to have a high enough seeding that they're not fighting through the playoffs, fighting on the road, fighting potentially through a play-in, depending on how long it takes for this to all come together. And because there are teams who are, rocketing ahead in the standings who are unexpected. Nobody expected the Warriors to be the Warriors from 5 seasons ago, 4 seasons ago, 3. You know what I mean? Nobody saw that coming.
Actually, Raphael did. He picked them to win.
To win it all, the NBA title.
And to
smart man,
be best in the conference.
Let's
put quotes around everything that Jamie just said.
But what I'm saying is that this team has to find something to play for besides we need LeBron back. With the two, one of the things I thought that getting to another superstar to add to, I'm amazed that Russ and AD alone aren't enough to win more of these games. That doesn't feel accurate to me, because now you have your pick and pop playmaker in AD, and you have your guy who can get to the rim and Russ, and the fact that nobody on the team has been able to make this work better yet, with or without LeBron, is troubling to me. That's a concern. That's a concern. We're supposed to have.
But who are the other 3 players right now? Who are the other 3 players?
Do you think that that's such a big debate in Brooklyn?
Oh, I do, because the other 3 players, the only one that's really should be there is THT, because the other one should be LeBron and probably Monk.
Well, unless Kendrick Nunn comes back, we don't know.
I would say Kendrick Nunn.
Here's the point. Okay, my turn now. Okay,
sure,
fair enough. And then the first thing I want to say is I apologize, Jamie. That was out of line, and I'm sorry about that.
I've debated people.
You know how much I respect your opinion, even though we disagree on maybe only 25% of the things that happen. Okay, so
yeah. I almost found out where Tate lived at one point, so I could go and talk to him about Pau Gasol in person, because I thought he was so disrespectful of Pau Gasol. So I know what it's like to get your
that's my bad. My apologies.
It's all good. Don't worry.
So here's my counter to everything that you've said, which I thought was very eloquent, and I understand your point of view and where you're coming from. What I think you don't give enough credence to, if you will, okay, if I could say it that way,
sure,
is that we've only played 16 games. We've missed LeBron in 9 of them. We've missed Trevor Ariza in all of them. We missed THT except for the last 2. And we missed the 6th highest paid guy, Nunn, who hasn't played at all. And we've had all of these injuries. We've had 11 new players. We're actually making a transition from a team that last year played with AD playing 91% of the time at power forward to him playing 80% of the time at center with 11 new guys, a new 5-out offense that is struggling because of all of the different lineups and everything. And that means a couple of things. One, you can't make a judgment on what they're going to do for the whole season based on these 16 games because that's not the team that's going to be out there once we get down the stretch. And then secondly, we know we've got a terrific lineup, but we've got some real roster imbalance. We need like two small forwards.
2 small forwards.
Yeah. We need
or Trevor
forwards.
Ariza to really turn back the clock.
Well, no, there's no more room at shooting guard, no matter how many people we trade. So THT is going to be playing some of that.
If Trevor Ariza, but yeah, no.
We need Trevor to come through big for us, and we need
Trevor to come
get
through
a couple
big.
of other guys despite him. And so that's
very
not
big
so
if.
not only is it the same team that's going to be playing in the playoffs and down the stretch and in the playoffs for us, but it'll be the right guys that are on the team now, and it'll probably be, as we've seen every year, somebody at the trade deadline and somebody at the buyout market that's going to come in. If you get lucky, you get a PJ Tucker, and man, you win a world championship.
Miami's
you
not
don't get
letting
lucky, or if you're stupid, you get an Andre Drummond and screw up your entire rotation.
I wish it would be PJ Tucker because
there's where we're really differing. And when you look at that, it's not. I mean, you're looking at it from a point of view that what we got is all we're going to get from these guys, and we're not going to add anybody. And I'm saying, no, we're got a lot of guys that we haven't got stuff from yet because they've been injured. And we're going to add guys as we go along in the season.
I'm not disputing that. What I'm saying is I can only judge based on what has been.
Well, okay.
I'm not trying to endorse an alternate reality where suddenly this or that happens. When this or that happens.
Isn't there a range though? Isn't there a range of things that can happen? Because you're always at the
let me put it this way. The range is LeBron might come back on Friday.
Upper end of the range.
No, the range is for me is LeBron might come back on Friday, and then we'll have to see how that changes things.
But you can't envision that LeBron coming back and LeBron playing more than 6 of the first 16 games, missing 10 of the first 16 games.
That's not what I'm saying.
That we're not going to be substantially better for the next 16 games.
No, that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that first off, it depends on what version of LeBron we're getting. Are we getting LeBron who takes it to the rim, who controls the game, or do we get the kind of weird version of LeBron we saw where he kind of defers to Wes and shoots 10 threes a game? That version of LeBron is, I'm not sure, enough to really swing how this team has been playing, to be absolutely honest.
LeBron wants, frankly. There's part of me that thinks
I don't know. We don't. There's so much we don't know.
10 threes a game.
He's not going to ever talk about how much his ankle is potentially still. He might still be suffering partially from that groin injury from season 1 as a Laker because he's old.
How about the broken nose he had?
These are all serious injuries. Yeah, he might, probably not. Just in terms.
He's never had a serious injury. If you qualify serious injuries are usually qualified as an ACL, an MCL, or an Achilles. He's never had those season-ending or that basically take a whole season.
And knock on wood that he doesn't. But he has had injuries that affect his play as a basketball player.
Father time's catching up with the injuries. There's no doubt about that.
And it adds to recovery.
Takes longer to get back.
And longer to get back, even from when you're on the court to where you want to be as a player. Yeah. And so this is what I'm saying is that I'm not saying I can't imagine this team with the dominant version of LeBron that I know. I'm saying that I'm not sure that dominant version of LeBron will ever fully return. And if that is the case, and this group of people can't figure out how to win with a Russ and Davis need to play at a higher level than they've been able to do so far. Now, again, I do believe this will all come together and look more organic, more fluid, work better on both ends, and it has shown itself to be able to. But it's not there yet. And so we can't imagine a world where it exists.
Win a championship, but I'm not going to believe it until we actually win it.
That's true. That's exactly right.
So until we get there, we have no chance. Or we have slim and none.
Is that not the lesson of Oregon Trail?
What?
Is that not the lesson of Oregon Trail? You got all the supplies. Your wagon is. You got all the supplies.
There's a range of opportunities.
Your wagon is stocked.
That are going to happen.
And then
there's a range of outcomes that are going to happen.
Malaria kills the
and I'm always rooting for and supporting the best
Listen,
possible outcome.
Every
that I
shot
can
Wayne
envision.
Ellington took tonight, I wanted it
You're
to go
always
in.
rooting for and then celebrating the worst possible outcome.
I
And
wouldn't
I
say
don't know
it's
why.
celebrating.
I don't know why the GHE crowd does that. Is it because you don't want to be disappointed or you don't want to get over optimistic? Is it?
No, it's because based on the empirical evidence and the criteria before me, I see an uphill battle for the team every night at this point. Like what team is an easy win for this team?
Well, nobody right now because they don't have
That's
their whole
right.
team here.
But that's the reality.
But
Okay.
I
Like,
had.
yeah,
just
and
you're
listen.
projecting
here's
an
another
entire
thing:
season based upon
the Bulls didn't
the
have
fifth
their whole
lineup.
team when they wiped the floor with us. The Bulls didn't have their whole team. They didn't have Vukovic, who's a huge part of what they did. Like this narrative that like, oh, the Lakers are so put upon because of their injuries is ludicrous. Every team has already had major injuries to key pieces, and they're finding ways to win. Klay Thompson hasn't suited up, for crying out loud, and the Warriors are steamrolling the league.
And they don't have their number 2 pick from last year on that team.
So this narrative of like,
No, but they've got the same team basically that's been running the same system for 6 years.
But the Bulls don't have the same team. The
And they
Bulls
have
are just
Steph
like us. It's a
Curry.
whole new team. It's a whole new team except for
But they
Levine,
also
basically.
have
Like,
on the fringes. Let me say this: they also have on the fringes. They've got a supporting cast that has been well built by an executive team that
They're worlds
understands
ahead of
player
us. They're
personnel.
worlds ahead of everybody.
they kind of are
They're
right.
the best.
Otto
They're the
Porter
best.
Jr. was an individual I asked
I know.
them to go out and get
I know.
on the Lakers team.
They're
Didn't
willing
get
to
him.
spend
He's
$200
shooting
million
40%
in
from three
taxes.
for the team.
That's
give them
Bielitsa
that.
is another. Just think if they would have gotten Bielitsa for the Lakers instead
Right.
of DeAndre Jordan, or instead of Dwight Howard.
And well,
Just
he was
think,
available.
It might
too.
even be just if that turns around even one game for the Lakers. Just
My
think
point
of
is, and it's not celebrating mediocrity. It's more that I know this team can be better. And from my experience in my life, the way I have been able to both motivate myself and others has not been to be a super positive, super rah guy. It's rather to be like, these are the things that we need to work on. These are the people who are going to work on them. And this is the results that we're looking for. And so it's a results driven outlook. It's not I hope this happens, or I think this might happen, or anything like that. So I can only base what I think is going to happen with the tools that we have on hand. And the tools that this team has on hand have proven themselves this season to be limited.
But you haven't seen all of the tools.
Well, they're not here yet, dude. Like Amazon's lagging, so we don't have our power saw, and we don't have our floor polisher, and we don't have our shop vac. So yeah, floors are a little unshined, shop's a little messy, and we're not able to cut stuff
we got
down.
a long time. We got a whole year to finish the project.
That's hopefully it gets done in time. And as we've
Can
all, I'm
we
sure
pay
we've
in
all dealt.
crypto, though?
I'm sure we've all dealt with contractors and know how timelines
Can we
are.
pay in crypto?
I hope so, because that would mean we kept Alex Caruso and I don't know, maybe
No,
a real training staff.
Crypto deal. If they got the crypto deal in time, maybe it would have saved Alex.
No, but they also got the Bibigo deal because they switched from Wish to Bibigo.
But they are going to make major they are going to make major renovations to the Staples Center finally, because they're getting this influx of cash, which is kind of disappointing to me that they didn't want to do that before with however much money they were making. And it's not just the Lakers that pays them. That's
AEG. It's everybody. Yeah,
it's the Sparks.
It's
all the concerts that are there.
Right.
And to me, it's a situation as well, getting into this before we head on out with Staples Center and changing the name and all that. Yeah, you got this influx of cash, but what were you doing before? It's not like you were sitting there flat broke. You have individual artists coming there with their concerts. You have the WWE coming there. You have so many different various events coming to your arena, giving you money that you could go ahead and build and continuously build a better arena or environment for the fans. It isn't until you get this money, or is it the fact you also hear that what's being had, that is going on down the road with the Clippers and what they're building is something that's state of the art.
It's all a matter of timing.
Yeah, exactly. That's part of the timing indeed. So, I mean,
it's probably why
disappointing that the Staples Center hasn't gone out of the way until now to go ahead.
Now Staples? I didn't read the detail of the articles. I know Staples supposedly had a lifetime deal.
What do you mean? No,
No.
There was supposed to be a lifetime award.
They're usually
for
only
Staples.
about 20 or 30-year base.
I think that they were going to be given first rights for what would be considered the lifetime of the arena,
Oh, and
and
they
it's
got
the
usually
lifetime.
revisited on a 20-year basis.
Yeah, and it's like all natural, right? It's those
Well,
kind
they
of things.
They claimed. I mean, I read that in several articles.
No,
They claimed that it was a
I'm not
lifetime
saying you're wrong.
situation.
What I'm
They
saying
never
is that
explained. They didn't explain, at least in the headlines or the short excerpts that I
But
read.
as a struggling retail outlet, maybe they still can't keep up the
It's
cost of what
probably
it is
true.
for the naming
they
rights,
might have
so-
said like, "Hey, we're pulling out." Thanks for
I
the
love
lifetime.
the memes with the staple removers in the stadium.
go.
You know,
Totally.
But okay, if Staples was so mad, they'd be filing suit, and they're
Yeah,
not.
right.
mad.
Staples ain't mad.
So,
No,
yeah.
Staples ain't
No.
mad.
is Staples still in business? I haven't even
Oh, yeah.
seen it.
It
There's
is.
a few by my
It
house.
is. It is.
Is there?
Yeah, shop them on Black Friday. Please help them out.
I went
Why?
into a not Home Depot. What's the Office
Buy some
Depot?
staplers.
The Office Depot the other day, and my God, that place is like a warehouse catalog place.
That's exactly what it is. Staples
Well, that's
ain't
what
much
happened. You know, they merged with Office Max, and yeah. Well, we're getting off an entire tangent.
Way
Crypto.com.
And let's
if you
can we
pay-
spend another 5 minutes talking about how sad
Crypto,
it is to
it's
be
all-
AEG?
$700 million to
Crypto
me
rabbit
at the
hole.
Lakers Fast Break,
AEG, how
at
will they
Lakers Fast
survive?
Break at yahoo.com, or at Lakers Fast Break on Twitter. We will rename this show the Crypto Fast Break.
Let's be honest.
$700
We'll
million
do that.
is definitely worth it for me.
Gerald, be
Okay.
honest. $100 million more than enough.
Okay, yeah, 100 million. I'm cheap. I'll take it.
Let's
this
just
way.
be honest. I'm
I'll
not
do
trying
the-
to.
I'll be like Alex Caruso. I will
100,000
take a
probably
hometown
would be
discount.
attractive.
right. 100 grand.
But then again, they would probably be like Rob Pelinka and lowball me there too.
Oh my god.
So tell you
please.
what, though, it is the Lakers Fast Break. Once again, the Lakers did fall short, executing poorly right when it mattered. But still, to me, and I'm going to agree with Tom that I think it was a good effort. But Jamie, he sees things a little bit differently today. But again, for me, the second quarter was the issue. I think they worked so hard to come back. By the time they come back, maybe they ran out of gas down the stretch. I don't know. It's just poor execution.
I hope you're easy on Sydney, man. That's all I got to say.
But
You
a
gotta
great
give the poor
performance
girl a
from
break.
THT. Hopefully,
Oh, yeah.
we can use that as a building block.
she
hopefully
doesn't get
equal-
paid. She doesn't get paid millions of dollars to be a toddler.
Well, hopefully THT can use this performance today as a building block for what's to come. I mean, he obviously a lot of pressures on him after the contract he signed, and the fact we don't have Alex Caruso on the team. So maybe he is
We
warming
got
up to that.
Austin Reeves. He's another key player who's out.
Yeah, but there's no more excuses for him. He's in his third season. You either develop now into the player that you're going to become. I know he's only 20, but still, he's in his therd NBA
He's a
season.
20
He's
point
been
per
around
game
the block.
scorer from now on.
Yeah,
You know,
there's
he's-
no more excuses at this point. He either
No,
is.
I
He's
thought-
he's raising his trading value every game.
That's what LakerTom sees it as, and I'm hoping that's the case because right now the Lakers, even with full, health and things of that nature, still have some issues that they need to work out, as LakerTom and Jamie and I have discussed, and we'd love to hear you discuss it too. Please, whether you want to get argumentative like we have on the show, we don't care. Or if you want to go ahead and sell us, crypto.com for $700 million, go ahead. But I'll tell you where you can go to do it at Lakerholics.com. You can go ahead and bribe LakerTom to go ahead and change the name to crypto.com, cryptoholics.com at
Hey,
Lakerholics.com.
maybe I ought to go reserve that name right now, Gerald.
There you go. Absolutely.
Cryptoholics.com.
I hear you guys are throwing money around.
Crypto Tom. It's not at Crypto Tom
We're
yet. but
throwing crypto around.
yes,
Right.
at Laker Tom on
We
Twitter.
got some monopoly money right
Jamie
over here.
Sweet is
Jamie.
at
I'm setting it aside for
LakerHolics.com.
you, man.
And of course, we're at Lakers Fast Break on Twitter and Lakers Fast Break at yahoo.com.
It's me pulling a
Once
Scrooge
again, it was a very spirited conversation. Hopefully, it will be a lot more gleeful on Friday. We are keeping our fingers crossed that Shams and Adrian are right on the money when it comes to LeBron coming back on Friday. If that's the case, things will hopefully turn around for the Lakers as they meet the once
LeBron wants
really
Dennis.
hated rival Boston. It's
Yeah.
now kind of they're just another team.
I think
they've been having
LeBron
their
and
own
AD.
issues.
I'm curious to see how that all. This gonna be just a game. That's what I mean. This has the potential.
It'll
to
be
the
Schroeder
game.
getting tested.
No,
the
and
thing is-
Somebody's-
I would
somebody's
have
getting-
been
somebody's
worried
getting thrown
about it
out.
if they didn't come out and fight hard tonight.
Somebody's getting thrown out on Friday.
Okay,
Somebody's
we'll
getting
see
thrown
if that
out.
happens. I
They
wouldn't
didn't
say
look ahead to
I wouldn't put
LeBron
past.
tonight. That's the big thing, I thought. They didn't look ahead to just getting LeBron back. They went out and tried to win the game. and they played hard.
I'm not saying they ever. We're not going to get back into it.
Uh,
I will put it in the Fiverr, and then we can argue on the blog for a half hour.
Sounds good. But so look out for Jamie Sweet's 5 things. Also look out for LakerTom's next article. If you get a chance, he'll go ahead and tweet it out at LakerTom on Twitter, but also Lakerholics.com, which hopefully in the not too distant future will be renamed Cryptoholics.com. But guys, it is the Lakers unfortunately falling in the fourth quarter to the Milwaukee Bucks 109-102. I'll be back tomorrow with Joe Soro, and we'll be back as the Lakerholics covered for the post game on Friday against Boston. Will it be a good thing? Will LeBron be back? Keeping our fingers crossed. And we'll give you the report on what went down in Boston after the game right here. I can't say the crypto
fast break.
Yes, no, I can't.
You
say
can.
That. They haven't paid me $700 million now.
Yeah, don't say it yet.
But for now, the Lakers Fast Break podcast.
Enough with the free advertising.
I want $700 million.